All right, this is a back-to-back edition. Surprise, everybody.
Greetings and salutations, 411 once again. Yeah, we tried to warn them. We said, hey, you never know when will pop up. But yeah, we wanted to try and get people this show out. Yours truly got to get a little breather before he really hits the ground running. I got to spend some time with the wife because once football season starts, actually, once that big draft weekend starts, Labor Day weekend, I don't know if I see my wife in the next 3 months. So so I got to got to make sure she's taken care of. Let her know I still love her.
Yeah,
That's why we want to get as many shows out as we can before I go on my little vacation, and then we'll hit the ground rolling again when I get back.
that's right. All right. Well, he's the calculator. I'm Mr. 411. Make sure you go to 411 Sports World Network on YouTube. Also, go to Mr. 411 on TikTok, MisterForOneone. That's Mr. 411 on TikTok. We are on a simulcast. So the people on TikTok are watching us right now, and the people on YouTube are watching us right now. Today's topic, tight ends. So we're gonna go over the tight end position. We're gonna have news and notes, and we're gonna do our mock draft because we love to mock draft.
Hey, what mock draft? Practice makes perfect. And like I said, we did it last week. We wanted to see what it would do if we picked a quarterback early, see if we like our team. How get the temperature, because sometimes you just might not like a team if you draft early one of these onesies positions as you would if you just pass over and get them late. But we like to draft early to see how it looks, and then if we don't like it, then we'll just go back and just draft them wait late to get those onesie positions.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what's going on in the news and notes calculator with the
Oh,
NFL?
hey, James Cook got paid, folks. The guy, I think he was putting a little pressure on management, standing out, watching practices. He wasn't working out on his own. He was literally at the facility. Of course, it kind of helped that he was getting that doc pay every time you miss a mandatory training camp. But yeah, they come to agreement. 4 year, $48 million deal, $30 million guaranteed.
Ooh,
That makes Cooks the sixth highest paid running back in average annual salary, just ahead of recently signed Kyron Williams' new deal at $11 million per year. Folks, we briefly talked about the Slater injury last episode. And some more O'Marion Hampton Chargers news. Chargers OC Greg Roman stated that rookie running back O'Marion Hampton will be part of a week one rotation,
oh,
according to ESPN's Chris Rim, even if running back Najee Harris is unavailable. So, folks, they don't care. They're just going to put him, they're going to ease him in. And like I said, O'Marion Hampton shot up draft boards before that first preseason game, and then looked kind of decent, in his debut. However, the Slater injury, he's back down into the third and fourth round, which is I still don't know. I like I said, I'm a little hesitant on those Chargers, Mr. Fromm, without their all world tackle in there. So we'll see. Everybody comes at a price, but we'll see how that goes. Jordan Love, folks, undergoing surgery he did on Tuesday to repair a torn ligament in his left thumb. Uh, the general manager announced he banged it on a non-throwing thumb on a helmet in Green Bay's preseason opener on Saturday. It's a little procedure from what we understand, and Love shouldn't miss any regular season time. He's added that the team is hopeful to get Love back in practice. Well, for those that want to comp to this, Drew Brees had this same type of injury slash surgery, and it's a non-throwing hand, and he was right out there the very next week, and I really didn't miss a beat. So, but hey, anytime you go under the knife, you got to share it with the people, Mr. 411.
yes, sir.
So,
Indeed.
yep. Malik Neighbors, he's still dealing with toe trouble. Not at practice on this past Tuesday. Brian Dable said he hasn't practiced since August 6th. According to Connor Hughes, that he needs additional testing on the toe. So he hadn't been at practice since the 6th. Just kind of looking at thing, folks. We don't like that turf toe. Turf toe. Hey, Jack Lambert. one of the toughest guys to ever play the game. They said turf toe was the reason he actually retired from football. So that, yeah, turf toe is no big deal, but they had diagnosis with turf toe. They just said it's toe trouble. So just keep an eye on that. Neighbors going in the late first round, early second round, and a lot of early drafts that I've been seeing out there. So definitely keep your eye on that one. Also, Kyle Shanahan for the 49ers told reporters on Monday that the team's ACL guys, well, when they say ACL guys, that means Brandon Ayuk will not be returning. Well, they're on track to return around week 6. So all those people that were drafting Ayuk, you might want to wait a little time because you might not see him till week 6, according to Kyle Shanahan. And got to get some Falcons news. We'll end it with the Falcons wide receiver Darnell Mooney still remains sidelined with the shoulder injury he suffered in July 24th. Raheem Morris said Tuesday that Mooney is week to week with no clear timetable to return. And folks, I do want to, I've said it before, I'll say it again, week to week, that is 7 times worse than day to day. So take that for what it's worth. But well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully he'll come in there sooner rather than later. But yeah, those are the news and notes, folks.
All right, news and notes, man, and some key players, man, that you mentioned. And boy, well, I tell you, I'm glad we don't draft till later on in the month.
Oh yeah. After like I said, I like to draft as close to Labor Day as possible. So, but yeah, because the Anthony Richardson, I don't even think I mentioned him. He had a thumb injury or a finger injury on his first drive in the preseason game. So looks like, although Daniel Jones didn't look much better with a healthy hand. I guess Anthony Richardson, as long as he recovers, he'll still be the starting option up there. But got to keep it on that because we said in the quarterback, I don't mind taking a flyer Anthony Richardson at the end of the draft just to see what happens. He was like the number 5 quarterback taken just last year. There's a 4-1 upside alone. So yeah, hey, I wouldn't say I'm happy about injury, but sometimes you got to take the injury bump, to your advantage. And that could be, in this case, that I still don't mind Anthony Richardson making it one of my last rounds. Heck, I might just draft an early kicker and then save Anthony Richardson for my last round pick.
Yeah, good wild card to have there.
Yep.
Could very well end up being your starter. You never know.
Yep.
So that's his, he got a high ceiling. So we'll see what happens there, man. But yeah, news and notes, man. Hey, it's the NFL, and every time they step on the field, it's possible somebody can get dinged up pretty bad. So stay with us. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and share because why calculator?
Sharing is caring, folks.
All right. All right, man. Let's get into it, man. The tight ends, man. Tight end position. For me, calculate before you get rolling on it. Man, I remember the days when, boy, you couldn't wait to get a Kelsey. You couldn't, you know what I'm saying? And there was times where you had at least 4 tight ends, 5 tight ends.
Jimmy back in his heyday.
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski.
Gronkowski.
Who's going to take it? Hey,
Gates.
No, sorry, I was Antonio Gates.
He started the
tight end thing. It's like, yeah. But last year it was kind of hit or miss because Laporta was taken. He was the first tight end taken after his rookie year when he pretty much led all tight ends. Everybody said, Laporta. And then even though Detroit has such a great record, Detroit showed that Gibbs could take a lot of touchdowns away. Amon St. Brown is still taking a target. So Laporta kind of fell down, even though he was people were disappointed, not on how he did overall, because he was still like the number 6 tight end overall at the end of the year. It's just the draft capital they had to spend to get him. You had to spend first 2 round, first or second round pick on him, depending on tight end premium leagues, of course. But yeah, he was going in the second round, and a lot of it was like him and Kelsey were back to back, and Kelsey disappointed a lot of people due to the draft capital. A lot of the early tight ends, with the exception of McBride, did not pay off where they were drafted. Kincaid, really disappointing. His injury kind of lasted throughout the year. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely took a lot over. And then Mark Andrews, if people remember, Mark Andrews got a goose egg the first 2 weeks of the season. Didn't even get a target. He was out there blocking. People's like, man, he's out there blocking. And it's like, yeah, that's what tight ends do. But yeah, folks. What's
But
that?
technically, these used to be like a lot of these tight ends that we're naming and talking about, and some that we haven't named. I mean, you used to get wide receiver production from the tight end slot, man. So I'm just curious about how the tight end is going to go this year. So,
Okay.
you know,
Well, put it this way: the only people that and a lot of people won with this guy, Brock Bowers, and it wasn't because Brock Bowers he was actually the number 2 overall tight end last year, but he was drafted in the 7th and 8th round. So
right,
a lot of people got that wild card. Like, oh man, didn't have to say that. If you put it this way, there were some teams that had Jane Daniels drafted in the 10th round, Brock Bowers in your 7th and 8th round. So they had their whole starting lineup and a couple subs in there, and then they had top 3 position players drafted later. So you could say, well, that might be a strategy. It's just, is there that Brock Bowers? It was Laporta 2 years ago.
yeah,
People drafted him later. So say, hey, is Tyler Warren the deal? I mean, he didn't make our top 10, but hey, he's a rookie. He was drafted high. Just like Brock Bowers was drafted high. Tyler Warren could be Art Loveland, quarterback of the or tight end of the Bears. Could
hmm
he be the guy that you draft after the guys that are on our list? Now, tell me, I'll tell you right now. I just watched a recent FPPC, and Tyler Warren went right after Sam Laporta as the number 5 tight end. So
wow,
somebody really loved Tyler Warren, and kind of like that Travis Hunter argument, not argument, debate we
yeah,
have,
discussion, yeah.
so discussion. It's like, do you, hey, who would you take? Well, if you go by your list, Tyler Warren or TJ Hawkinson. Mr. 4-1, I mean, according to your list, you'll take Hawkinson. Guess
Yeah.
what? According to my list, I'm taking Hawkinson. So, but like we said with Travis Hunter, you only need one person to love the guy.
Yep.
And that's what happens. Now, auction is a totally different monster, so it's going to be interesting. And folks, we're going to say, hey, you want to see how an auction works? That's what we draft at the 411 Sports World League. We do an auction draft because that's where things get interesting. You can go and get your guy, but you also got to think, is there that one guy that really loves them, and then do you want to take chances on bidding up a player and get stuck with them? But yeah, let's debate our list a little bit. The first 3 is the big 3. We had the big 4 last year. It's the big 3. Brock Bowers, consensus number 1. Trey McBride. A lot of people say consensus number 2, but they're saying he could even be better this year because they said he was the most targeted tight end in the red zone. Most targeted tight end, but he only had I think he had 1 touchdown.
Right.
They said that's a statistical anomaly that kind of like that year that Calvin Johnson and Julio Jones were getting tackled at the 1 yard line for 10 times during the years. They're guys that can score, but they just one of those weird things that happened last year. Kyler Murray. He was very Kyler Murray. He was so frustrating. I know I can go off on a tangent, but he is Trey McBride's quarterback. He could look like Joe Montana in the first quarter, and then he looked like Jamarcus Russell in the second quarter. It's really
Jekyll and Hyde.
there you go with that. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it's one of those things that he was very, 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 very. Yeah, and that affected McBride because a lot of times he was wide open in the end zone, and Kyler Murray just missed him on an errant throw. But I think his touchdowns are going to come up, and that's why I have him and me and you both have him as number 2. And George Kittle, right now, Pearsall's hurt, Debo's gone, Ayuk's hurt, Juwan Jennings hurt. That's your one pass catcher gone. Your next guys are hurt. So, and CMC, he's coming. He's healthy, but you think they're going to want to have to work him into the ground if they want to make a playoff run? No. Last guys there's George Kittle. If he's the only healthy catcher, and they got I think the 3rd easiest pass schedule in the league, George Kittle's going to eat. Now, the reason he's not in my Brock Bowers or my try, and I can't speak for one, but my personal feeling is he gets a lot of his production for touchdowns, not necessarily actually target share. So Pearsall will come back. Juwan Jennings will come back. once Juwan Williams gets paid, that's when he gets healthy. From what I understand, so so that's why George Kittle, I think his target share is not going to be quite as big because Brock Bowers is the number one target on the Raiders, and the reason he's ahead of McBride is McBride could share a target share with Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's like one A, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is 1B. You know what I'm saying? George Kittle, he's not going to be 1A. If Jawan Jennings or Pearsall, I think he could be like 1C. They could have 3. He's just not going to. There's just going to be more mouth to feeds, and they're going to have the CMC taking a lot of, just play routes.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of passes out of the backfield. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's another thing that could bring George Kittle down, but he's still the number 3 guy. So hey, if you don't want to spend, you're going to have to spend at least a first or second round pick on Brock Bowers. If you now tight end premium, you're going to have to spend a first round pick on Brock Bowers. And when I say tight end premium, the FFPC scoring system is 1.5 points for receptions if you're a tight end. So that's, you get that little extra. So the only thing that you're going to push those up, but it's only going to push up people like Bowers and Kittle an extra round ahead of Kittle, because they're most likely, the projections are they're going to have more receptions than Kittle. But Kittle's an easy third choice just because of, he's going to eat up snaps as well. He's just going to be on the field a lot of times. Now, me and I guess you're back to Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
I'm pushing a little back against Sam Laporta for one reason. I think Jameson Williams takes another step up. I think a new offensive coordinator kind of could. It has a lot of uncertainty. So that's why I kind of like Sam Laporta to be behind. I want to. If it's my choice, I'm getting Hockenson because Jordan Addison, he's going to miss the next few, next like 4 games, I think was the suspension. And then, and he's going to be the number 2 target behind Justin Jefferson. So that's why I like Hockenson to get more receptions than Laporta. And Travis Kelce, yes, he's old. I understand that. Rashee Rice is going to be suspended, and Xavier Worthy is still going to take the lid off. Hollywood Brown's not all. So I think Kelce's still going to be the number 1 red zone target. And when you can get touchdowns as a tight end, that helps you out. So that's why now I don't have Laporta too far down. I just have Kelce, behind him. So why do you like Sam Laporta so much, Ms. Well,
I like the offense. I like Detroit's offense. I like a lot of the dome games that they're going to have. I'm anticipating them having some shootout type games, and within that, he should be able to get something. I think that he, between these 3, right? Because pretty much, in my mind, I have it broken into tiers, just like you mentioned earlier. The first 3, I got them in the tier. So the next 3, I definitely have the next 3 in the next group. So whichever one I get when it's draft time, I'll be good with either one of them.
Yeah, so it's like, and like a lot of people, you want to be drafting at the end of the run. You don't want to start the run. You want to be at the end of it. So yeah. Tyrone says, hey, if somebody picks Sam Laporta, and
then I get Hockenson.
And you get Hockenson or Kelce,
right.
Stuff like that. So yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
But when we thin slicing it, okay, I put Kelce 3rd because of the wear and tear. Because just because of the wear and tear, and like it's kind of like you ever play Super Mario Brothers, right? Maybe at some point in time.
Oh,
and how you stand on top of the little green thing, like the little plumber thing and you never know which one the little flower that come up and bite you. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like I don't want to be standing on that and then I get bit by Kelce falling off the cliff with age. So one of these seasons, Kelce's going to fall off, and I just don't want to be the fantasy owner when he does.
In the bag, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to be the one when he does. So that's why I have him 3rd. Hockenson and Laporta kind of got him either or. Just pick your flavor on that. I like what you said about opportunity as far as injuries and things going on with certain receivers. But I just feel like either way, you're good. So that's where I'm at with it.
And Mr. 411. There's a guy on my list that didn't even make your top 10. Why do you not like Mark Andrews, Mr. 4-1? He got a couple goose eggs, but he started producing at the end of the year.
Because he burned me. He burned me. He burned me a lot. And
Mr. 4-1's taking it out on him.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? You burned me so much. But man, this guy, we know this because we were just talking about it earlier, how we had all these tight ends that were just putting up wide receiver numbers. That's Mark Andrews, right? That's what he's been for Lamar Jackson. But Lamar is also starting to spread the ball a little. Like he used to really rely on Andrews, and that was his. I would say that's his, his safe place, right, with Andrews. But he's starting to throw the ball around a little bit more. They started bringing in receivers like Flowers, and Lamar is maturing in front of our very eyes year in and year out. And so I think he's spreading the wealth even more. And then Likely, right? And Likely was the guy that kind of got in the way. But what is his injury status like?
Yeah, Likely is still injured. So that's another reason I was debating Tyler Warren and Mark Andrews just last week. But when I looked at the Likely injury, I said, that's because we don't know.
Right.
So it's like when all else, because you're right, when Likely's out there, that does help or hurt Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
But with him possibly missing injuries, it's like Andrews has to make my tight end. But to go back to your point, what really has I actually like it's the Todd Monken effect. Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. That's why you're seeing Lamar Jackson throw around more, because that's the Monken system. However, we still know when Lamar Jackson is rushed, when there's someone, he knows there's a security blanket.
Right.
And people that watched that Bills playoff game, that was in Mark Andrews' hands. All right, and I think that's going to be a Mark Andrews mind all year. He said, and he's going to make up for it. So I think it's going to be a big year for Mark Andrews, even when Isaiah Likely comes back, because I guarantee you that dropped. It was a 2-point conversion. That's going to stick in his mind.
Oh yeah.
So.
Now that did hurt.
Yeah. The one thing, hey, David Njoku could be a top 5 tight end if he wanted to. He just got to stay on the field.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and now that Joe Flacco's in there, hopefully Joe Flacco is going to be out there tossing the ball around. Man, I still wish Jameis Winston, man, I don't know why they couldn't dine him back. I don't care that he would throw 2 pick sixes because he still keeps chucking the ball. Jameis Winston, we need Jameis Winston in Miami, Mr. 411. I've been calling for. I don't know why that they don't go and get McDaniels. Don't go and get that guy. Just imagine giving Jameis Winston Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and those, and a bad defense to boot.
Oh man.
But hey, we can only dream. But Njoku just can't stay on the field. Hey, when he's 100% and he's healthy, even with subpar quarterbacks, the man produces. He gets open, and he's like another wide receiver. They don't leave in Njoku to block. When he's healthy, he's out there running pass routes. So that's why pass routes. That's why he's in there. But I see. Man, you got Dalton Kincaid. Hey, I can't quit Dalton Kincaid either, but man, you got him right in your top 10. So, you think Kincaid's going to be some of the way back, all the way back? Well, he's not going to be all the way back because he's been higher. So, can you have any words on Kincaid?
No, he's on a good team. You know what I'm saying? He's on a good team. He's on the Super Bowl contender, and I think he's going to be needed. So. I feel like he's going to be solid, man. I mean, if you get him, like I say, if you get him at this part of the draft, like if you get him as far as in the tier system of tight ends, if he's one of your late tight ends and he's on your team, hey, he could possibly give you mid-level production and every now and then give you that big game.
He's going right around the Kyle Pitts area in round 13, 14.
Yeah.
So that could be one of those late guys. Hey, because I don't know. I still had the reason. And I drafted Kincaid in a lot of leagues last year, and he burned me. I'll be the first to admit it. I took him over in one league. I took him over Trey McBride. I kid you not.
Wow.
Yeah, because Kincaid was my number 3 tight end last year. So it's like I took target share. I took, there was a rookie receiver in Keon Coleman, and I could not get the Dalton Kincaid. When he played for Utah, he almost single-handedly beat Caleb Williams' juggernaut USC team.
Mm-hmm.
He went down there, he was catching time. I mean, they couldn't cover the guy. And he was coming in to a wide receiver room last year that lost 130 targets in Stephon Diggs. I said, I was just giving him 20% added on to what he had last year of the target. I thought I was being conservative. But injuries, that's one thing you really can't. Because let me tell you, that first game, I was cut because they drew up plays for Kincaid. because they like he can do all. And now, and even when he's healthy though, Josh Allen, I saw 3 separate passes where he was wide open down the field and Josh Allen overthrew him.
Yeah.
And that was kind of frustrating. So I think if he's healthy, I'm not going to quit him. Now, an interesting name on here, because he both made our top, Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
What I see, you have him right by Njoku. Do you think he can? What do you like about Evan Ingram that makes him top 10?
I like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, and see what a young quarterback needs security. We talked about how Andrews has been a security blanket for Lamar Jackson, for most of his career, especially early on. Like Bo Nix. I mean, what's better to have now? You got a good wide receiver too, with Sutton, but having that big target, man, to go to, he's going to be valuable. And he's shown us that he has the physical tools to be an excellent tight end, right? He's kind of like an oversized wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? He's got wide receiver skills and a big body. And I think Nix will utilize that this year.
And Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Look what Sean Payton did when he had Jimmy Graham on his team. Sean Payton knows how to draw. Sean Payton had no tight end. He had zero athletic tight ends. I mean, I can't even name some of the tight ends he was running out there. So now he gets a name brand tight end, and all he has, again, we talk about target share, is Marvin Mims. I mean, is he really going to take that many away from Evan Ingram over the middle? He's more of a stretch the guy. Troy Franklin, stretch the field type of guy. Sutton, I mean, he's really your only target across the middle of the field, in my opinion. And I think that's going to work into Evan Ingram. So I love Evan Ingram as well. I just don't like him as much because of the unknown is why he made my top 10, but he's right on the outside. But I like your number 10 guy because we drafted him in our mock draft, Tucker Kraft. Hey, like I said, he was right there, but I love Mark Andrews a little bit more. Put it this way, Tucker Kraft would have made my top 10 if it's Isaiah Likely, because a healthy Isaiah Likely drops Mark Andrews out of my top 10. But I had to go with current listing, Mr. 401. That's what we do for the people. Current, if people are drafting right now, you got to take that into account. But Tucker Kraft, any words that you want to talk about Tucker Kraft?
Oh, I'm ready for him. I'm ready for it, man. Like I remember one week last year, watching the show. Well, actually, I'm on the show and picked him up. And man, he monster stats. And why not? I think it's going to happen this year. I think he's going to be more consistent this year. He's going to be a factor with Jordan Love because again, young quarterback. I mean, young quarterback. All young quarterbacks out there, you utilize your tight end. That's big catch radius. They tend to have mismatches where they got a smaller DB or a slower linebacker. Either way, utilize them, and I think Kraft can break out.
And when you have all those wide receivers on there, you're not going to double cover Tucker Kraft. You're going to be worried about all those receivers.
Exactly.
And I tell you right now, Tucker Kraft knows how to beat single coverage. He showed it time and time again last year. And I'm glad he did you good, Mr. 4-1, because that is proof that you got to watch our waiver show, because we like to give people we called the Cade Otton shot. Of course, Lacey, one of our contributors to the show, she used Cade Otton against me in the league. And like, oh, Lacey, you're killing me. It's like, hey, that's where sometimes it comes back to bite me, is when I give good advice and they have higher waiver priority in the league that I play with them in, and then they use them to beat me. But hey, it's a nature thing. And I just want to say, if I don't, and this is going to be my draft strategy, folks. If I don't get Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, George Kittle, I'm not drafting any of these other tight ends. I'm going to wait and draft the Lovelands of the world, although he's riding up. But you know what? A nice safety, Kyle Pitts Jr. I wouldn't mind having him in the 14th round. Or hey, if you want old and crusty but reliable, Hunter Henry. Hey, Drake Meyer loves some Hunter Henry, and he can bust out a 20-point game every now and then when he gets his 2 touchdowns. So there are other guys that hey, we didn't mention him. Darren Waller. Did people know he unretired? He unretired, and he went to Miami where we all know Jonnu Smith saved a lot of people off the waiver wire last year in Miami. So yeah, I'm telling you, I'm going to get some of those old guys. I like Elijah Arroyo, the rookie out of where did he go, Mr. One?
Elijah.
Elijah Arroyo.
Oh man, let me see. Oh well, he went to Seattle, man.
Yeah, I thought he was your team. I just didn't want to misspeak on your team.
Yeah.
Hey, I like him. Hey, I watched a lot of Miami Hurricane games, and he knows how to beat. The bad thing is though, this last preseason game, he had trouble blocking.
Yeah.
And if you have trouble blocking as a rookie, it's going to be hard to get snap count.
And that's something that Seattle is, from what I've heard, right? Some of my sources there, they're saying they're going to do a lot of blocking this year. They're going to do a lot more running this year.
Yes, and that's why I like them, but it has to be late, just because if you don't know how to block, it's hard to get on the field. But yeah, hey, what about Zach Ertz? I mean, the guy can't go away, but he keeps catching balls.
Yeah.
And old reliable Dallas Goddard. He didn't make our list, but hey, he's about as, if you need 8 points in PPR, he'll get you 8 points. Hey, man, 14, you're out of luck, but he'll get you the 8 points.
You know what? There's a lot of tight ends this year. It seems like this year somebody can play a stream game. They can stream tight ends.
Because a lot of people might draft like that backup tight end and just see like, if they draft like tight end, like I'm watching an FFPC in the background so I could, give some analysis on a real-time draft. A guy drafted Hunter Henry, Mason Taylor, and Isaiah Likely, all three back to back to back. So I guarantee you, he's going to see the Isaiah Likely injury and he's going to see the Mason Taylor usage. Keep one of those and probably drop the other one that he doesn't use, because he's not dropping Hunter Henry, because Hunter Henry is probably the guy he's going to start.
Right.
So he's probably going to take the upside of one of those receivers and then see what happens. Because I like Mason Taylor too.
Okay.
Justin Fields. Hey, Justin Fields made Cole Kmet viable for a while. So Justin Fields knows how to throw to his tight end. So that's another guy that's deep on my list that I like, is old Mason Taylor. And Chig Aquano for Tennessee. Cam Ward, rookie's best friend, is a big tight end. He looked good. And looked good in the preseason game. That's another guy. I mean, the only guy he has to battle for targets is Kevin Ridley. That's another thing, that one of those late tight ends you can get. And old but not forgotten, Juwan Johnson, folks. Yes, might get him. I mean, yeah, he's a saint. But
I've been waiting for him to break out for years.
We keep waiting, But hey, all it takes is a Chris Olave concussion and a Rashid Shaheed knee injury. Oh wait, that happened last year.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, but didn't they have some guy named Bud, some Dupree or something like that? I don't know, some guy running AJ Perry or AGT. I mean, they were getting guys, all kinds of guys that I didn't even know were. And let me tell you, I'm a Saints fan, but yeah, they had all these guys running guys I never even heard of. I mean, they bought MVS off the street last year and made him viable. So yeah, it was something else. But hey, Juwan Johnson was out there. Yeah, yes, he was. Him and Kamara were out there all 16 games, especially when Taysom Hill got hurt. Juwan Jennings got all the snaps.
Yeah. So man, he's been. He's been real tempting to have on your roster, because he's another guy. He looks like a wide receiver, man.
Yeah.
And can play that tight end spot. Just maybe one day when the Saints get that quarterback position settled, maybe he can break out for real. And be one of these guys that we're talking about. Hey, I got a question for you. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. The name Freiermuth. He's been solid over the years for them. But then Jonnu Smith, who had that huge season in Miami, he's there now. And then Washington is there, the big guy. How does that shake out if you're the Steelers?
That is strictly a stay away.
Yeah.
Because Freiermuth was getting drafted until the Jonnu Smith trade. But it's one of those things I rarely see a trade ruin 2 draft picks
Yes.
because nobody was taking Freiermuth with Jonnu Smith, and nobody's taking Jonnu Smith now that he's not in Miami.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the weirdest things because Pittsburgh, they are a one wide receiver that they like to target, and they got that guy in DK Metcalf,
Right.
and they got and they like to run the ball. So they have and Aaron Rodgers in there in there. He might be able, but Darnell Washington, he's going to be on the lead on the he's going to hog snap counts because he's such a good blocker, and they like to run the ball. So it's like, okay, when you run 12 personnel, are you going to put Freiermuth? You're not going to run 13 personnel, are you?
Right.
You might with just DK Metcalf, but that I don't know if Aaron Rodgers likes that type of thing. But no, I'm staying away from all Pittsburgh tight ends because there's so many other guys that I like at tight end before doing the unknown that is known as the Pittsburgh. The one thing you know about Pittsburgh tight ends is you don't know about Pittsburgh
Right.
tight ends. Okay. So,
Stay away. All right.
yeah.
There you go. Stay away. All
Hey,
right.
yeah, I could even go with a Will Dissly for the Chargers. Every now and then they have a nickname on the fantasy footballers, call him Big Country out there. But man, he was out there catching passes last year.
Yeah.
If you were in the streaming streets at tight end, which a lot of people were when that Kincaid injury hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, all right. Well, that's tight ends, man. We talked about a lot of them, but just remember, there's that tier 1, and then you go from there.
Yep. And in the mock draft, which we're about to do, folks, we're going to draft an early tight end,
Ooh.
and we're going to see how that works.
All right. I like that.
So yeah, here we are, folks, and we got pulling up the matchup. If you want to explain to everybody, Mr. 411.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what we're doing here with the mock draft, we're going to we're not using the running back, correct? Just help me out. No, we're not doing carries, right?
We're doing a strict full point PPR with one flex position, start one quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, and a flex that is your running back, tight end, wide receiver position.
Okay, and what we'll be doing is drafting those spots, and then we'll just calculate. He's our quarterback here, and I'm sitting up in the offense coordinator booth. But we're gonna work together. He's got his headset on, so we go back and forth.
And we're gonna be drafting, and we draft our. If people follow us, we draft a different position. So we're gonna go from the 8 spot, Mr. 411, and see if we can grab one of those tight ends in the 3rd round. Just to see, because in the 8 and I'm gonna make it a little tough, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna do an early draft pick because I don't know if George Kittle will be able to fall in the 8th pick, so we'll do a 4th round draft pick and see what comes. Well, yeah, we'll do 4th round. That should give us an early enough 3rd round pick to get that tight end. So we'll see if that works. So
while we're doing that calculation, so would you advise to the fantasy managers across the globe not to draft a tight end in round 1 or 2?
No, I would not. That's where it gets a little. Now, in tight end premium, yes. If you are an FFPC, I would draft one of the big 3 I would draft. I've seen 2 FFPC drafts. Bowers went 2 and 1. One guy went 1 over Jamar Chase. And the reason this guy they asked him why he did it. He said, well, of course, it's tight end premium. But in FFPC, you have that tournament at the end, and you're going to have a lot of unique lineups if you draft Bowers number 1. So he was trying to get unique with one of his teams. He has multiple teams, of course. So that's why I dropped Bowers number 1. So yeah, if I totally am support with Trey McBride or Bowers in tight end premium leagues, using your 1st round pick is bottom 6. I'm not using a 1st through 5 yet, but 6 on. I would take a Bowers or McBride with my 1st pick in tight end premiums. But no, otherwise in a regular standard league, I'm going to wait till the 3rd round and see if a Bowers, McBride, or a Kittle can fall to me in the early 3rd round.
And what is tight end premium?
Tight end premium is it's a 1.5 point per reception for tight end. So
Okay.
every catch they get 1.5 points
Oh,
as
interesting.
compared to 1 point. So
Yeah, some bonus points there.
yeah,
Okay.
bonus points, and that's why Bowers and McBride, they're going to lead. They're going to get just as many targets as a lot of the second round receivers. So
Yeah,
if you're going to get if you're going to get that many targets with possible catches, I'm going to get it.
man, you might as well get McBride and Bowers.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So Mr. 4-1, we got, I got my number one receiver still available, CeeDee Lamb, but I've gotten him before, Mr. 4-1. So I'm gonna go a little different. And what I'm gonna go is I'm gonna go with CMC. Yes, folks, I will go with CMC. I love Christian McCaffrey this year.
Uh-oh.
I know me and LT in the auction are going to be battling out. I'm calling LT out now. When you're the number 4 pick, you have to get your guy. And my guy is CMC. Because I just did some research. CeeDee Lamb has a brutal early season schedule. So that's the one thing that I like. I love Christian McCaffrey, his early season schedule, and I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna stay healthy this year, Mr. 4-1. So I'm Christian McCaffrey, number 4, as our first pick, Mr. 4-1, and all the Bowers just went.
Oh, where did
Okay,
he go? What round he went? That was fast.
he went first pick in the second round. Okay. I'm not taking a chance, Mr. 4-1. I said I was going to draft a tight end early because I don't think McBride will make it back to us. Kittle, there's a 17% chance he makes it back to us. Or no, I'm sorry, a 87% chance he makes it back to us. So that's a pretty good chance. We could try for Kittle, or we could just take McBride and be done with it. What do you think, Mr. 4-1?
Let's go with McBride.
Okay, me too. So yeah, let's get him. Oh, Kittle would have fell back to us, or maybe he would have fallen back to us because a lot of people had Kittle in the second tier. So a lot of people McBride. I think so. I think we could have had Kittle.
Or they might have just said forget it since McBride's off the table now.
That's true. That's true. So hey, Mr. 4-1, we still got decent running backs. Jackson. Oh, Garrett Wilson's out there. T. Higgins is out there.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill is out there. So we got a running back. So I think we need to hit receiver. Do you like a Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins? Those are my 2 choices at this point.
Thanks. I mean, with that offense in Cincinnati, man, I like T. Higgins.
Okay.
I do like Wilson, but I like T. Higgins at the tie break.
Yeah, me too. Kittle went. But hey, we're done. We're done with tight end. So we're
loaded. We're loaded at tight end, man.
That's right. And we're going to wait on quarterback, folks, since we use our early pick on tight end. But, man, look at it. I mean, they got some nice – hey, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, and Cortland Sutton. Mr. 4-1, I think we need to go with another wide receiver here because I think – and the reason I say that is because I think Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, or Travion Henderson – my next 3 ranked running backs will fall to us. So that's why I think we should go with another wide receiver.
Okay.
Do you like DK Metcalf or DJ Moore or Cortland Sutton?
I like Sutton because I think Bo Nix is going to target him a lot. I mean, heavily. But at the same time, I do want to get your opinion on what do you think about Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf connection? Do you think he's going to rely on Metcalf?
I think he's going to rely on Metcalf quite a bit. I think he's going to try and use – the thing is, you could say he's going to use him as a Davante Adams target, but Davante Adams is a totally different type of receiver than Metcalf. Metcalf is a bigger, faster, kind of 50-50 balls, stuff like that. And Davante is kind of like a run after the catch type with the ball in his hand. So there are different type of receivers. So that's why I kind of want the safety. We know what we're going to get with Cortland Sutton, and DK Metcalf is kind of a question mark. Yeah. So that's why I think the safer bet would be Cortland Sutton if it's between those 2.
Yeah. Well, let's go with Sutton.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. As I stated earlier, I like Nix throwing to Sutton.
And look, James Conner. Oh, Ted McMillan fell to us. Ted McMillan is still available.
Oh, the young guy in Carolina.
Yeah, and I think we might be able to wait and see if Tony Pollard or Isaiah Pacheco falls to us with our next pick, or RJ Harvey. So you just – because I think the tier break is Ted McMillan. You want to go and get our flex player?
Yeah, that's talent, man. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Let's
And,
have
and I,
him because when he has those monster games, he'll be on our squad.
that's right. That's right. Ooh, they had the running back run, but you know what? Just like I said, R.J. Harvey and Tony Pollard fell to us. I say let's go with Tony Pollard. Tyjair Spears has an ankle injury, so that only is going to help Tony Pollard. So do you? Well, you we could wait and see if because my numbers show that R.J. Harvey would not. Tony Pollard has a better chance of falling back to us than R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, they're in the same type of tier. I mean, that's probably
Although Mr. 4-1, we do have we do have a Denver wide receiver on our team, so that
we
could be
do.
a factor. So
We
do you want to? Well,
we do, but I still think both of them going to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't think it would hurt us too bad. Pollard, yeah, but he's in Tennessee. We don't know what Tennessee may do with a young quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. So now, can I get an agreement if Tony Pollard falls back to us, we'll get him?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get R.J. Harvey, and then we'll draft Pollard if he falls back to us. R.J. Harvey won't be coming back to us, in my opinion.
All right. Let's see if it happens.
Yep. Tony Pollard fell
there
back.
There it is. So there we go. We got them both anyway.
Because there was like a 17% chance that R.J. Harvey would come back to us. So Pollard had a 50-50. So yeah, let's go ahead and we are locking up the backfield. And when I say that is now we have double flexes. We can take our chance. If Ted McMillan don't work out, we drafted him for upside. We'll put Tony Pollard in the flex position. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that. We still need a quarterback. Oh man, Mr. 4-1, my favorite guy, Justin Fields, is still available. So Drake May's still available. Dak Prescott, Caleb. So I think we can wait on quarterback.
Yeah, it's a lot of them in the same bucket that's available.
Yeah, Justin Fields, and also I just looked at the teams that drafting. Since we're on the flight, there's like 3 teams. All of them have a quarterback, so we don't have to draft quarterback here. So we can go with another running back, Jordan Mason, Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker. I hear he has an injury, Mr. 411. Have you heard anything about him?
Well, yeah, that he's injured, but I also know that he's going to get injured. So, yeah. I mean, we got to have Charbonnet on the roster.
Okay, we're going Charbonnet. I have no problems because if you think that's going to linger, you got to get Charbonnet. Charbonnet is going to be one of my biggest second-round running backs that I'm going to pick this year. So, okay, this is where we need to jump on our quarterback. But, hey, every one of them fell to us. Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, he's my pick. Caleb Williams is probably your pick. Where do you want to go, Mr. 411?
Well, due to making this pick this late, I'm going to say go with Justin Fields.
Okay, thank you, because I really liked it. I tell you, I talked about him in the if you didn't listen to the quarterback show, I was going to the mat for Justin Fields. He's going to be a lot of Mr. 411. He's going to be a lot of calculators teams this year.
And he's going to give you the running stats too.
Yeah. So if he has a bad passing day, so what?
Yeah, he's just going to get you numbers one way or another. Yeah,
that's right.
And you know what? Look, he's on another team now, so it's time for him. Like, this is a great opportunity for him too. Like, being on your third team, this young career, maybe this is the spot for him and the opportunity that he needs to flourish. So he's got something to prove. So I think he's going to play like it.
I agree. All right, Mr. 4-1, Tyjair Spears. Yes, he has a high ankle sprain. However, we do have Pollard, so we could lock up the Tennessee backfield with this pick. And then pick a Darnell Mooney or Rashid Shaheed, because my numbers show that they should fall to us at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. So you go with locking up the Titan backfield? Yeah,
I'm good with it. I'm good with anything at, this part of the draft. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what? Shaheed and Darnell Mooney did not make it back to us.
Oh, no. But who did?
hey, Luther Burden III. We talked about him. We got Demario Douglas. He's flying up draft boards, folks. Had a good preseason so far. I'm not a fan of Christian Kirk for the mere fact that Houston is not thrilled with Christian Kirk because they drafted two hot shot rookies. So that's another thing that is kind of worried me and about that. I say let's go with I'm good. I like upside, Mr. 4-1. So you want to go with some Luther Burden the third on this? I mean, another rookie.
You got to fool me on him. You got to give me a little backdrop on Bird.
Luther Burden the third 2 years ago would have been a first round pick, and 2 years ago, but decided to come back. Thought Missouri was going to come back. Missouri's quarterback got injured. Burden got injured. His draft stock slid, but to a point where he can play the slot in Chicago. So you're going to have Odunze playing outside. You're going to have DJ Moore playing outside. Luther Burden can thrive in the slot. He's not our starter, but he's young. He's flying up draft boards right now.
Wow.
And I do not think he'll come back. Or we could go with a secondary guy in Cedric Tillman. That's another guy. Well, I'll put it this way. Luther Burden the third has a better chance of falling back to us if you want to go with Cedric Tillman, the number 2 guy in. But it is a number 2 wide receiver on a bad offense.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to trust you on this one. Let's go with Burden.
Okay, we're going with Burden. I like Burden. And Tillman fell back to us, so we could go that. Or we could, Mr. 411, see, my Justin Fields has a week 9 bye. So I say let's back up our quarterback. We can go Caleb Williams or Drake May. Which one do you want, Mr.
Oh, Williams.
Okay. We got Caleb Williams as a backup. So we got the Williams Fields stack.
And why did he fall that? How did he make it that far down?
I don't know.
In the Bears offense with a tight end. We talked about tight ends earlier.
Yeah. We got the stack, Mr. 4-1. We got Luther Burden third with him too. So yeah. Oh, and my favorite running back, my last running back I've all been Ray Davis, Mr. 401. We're picking him before we pick a tight end or before our kicker in our defense. So I can't even ask you for that, Mr. 401, because you know how I feel about Ray Davis.
Yeah. I can see it all over your face, man.
All right.
Ray.
So hey, I'm gonna just draft. Let's see what kickers are available.
Yeah, you can make those selections.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fairbairn. And then I'm going to draft our defense with our last pick because, like I thought, hey, I'm getting the Detroit Lions. Hayden Hutchinson's back. And we know when they were healthy, they were a top 5 defense when healthy. So I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions with our defense.
And calculator, what about that kicker that kicked that 70-yarder, man?
Oh, man.
We need to put that in the calculations. Like you should get 30 points for a 70-yarder.
Oh, hey. Yeah, hey, Aubrey can do it, So hey, but I'm not a and we'll just go over our team. The draft analysis didn't like us, but I like it because we're solid at quarterback. Heck, we got the Titans backfield as depth. That's our depth. But we have Christian McCaffrey. Could be a number 1 guy. I don't think it likes our Christian McCaffrey at number 4 is where it's dinging us. But hey, we got T. Higgins. We got Cortland Sutton, Ted McMillan. He's in our flex. And then, of course, Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker don't play. That's another starter. And Luther Burden third with Caleb Williams also backups. I like our depth in this, and I like where we go with Christian McCaffrey and Trey McBride possibly leading their respective positions in what they do.
Absolutely, calculator. Hey, yeah, a lot of people, the computer may not like our selections, but guess what? We're humans. And so we're factoring some other things in, not just the subtle formula, but we're calculating other things as well that maybe AI is not doing. And guess what? True story. One of those drafts that I was in, a couple years ago, I ended up with Montgomery at running back, and I wasn't too happy about it. But then guess what? He had a monster year that year and carried my team. So, hey, you won't know until you know.
That's
you know what I mean?
And we like Ted McMillan, so getting him as late as we did, I think that was a coup for us as well because he's going higher than what usually in FFPC drafts I've been seeing. If Ted McMillan falls to you as a flex player, I think that's the time to jump on him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, look, Caleb, we did back to back this week.
That's
But
right.
this will air again. So for those who are not used to us being on Tuesday, they'll catch us Monday. But for those who hit the like, subscribe, the notification bell, man, you caught another episode this
That's
week
right.
early.
And then and when I get back from vacation, Mr. 401, we'll talk about kickers and defenses, and there's a strategy you can use with that. But a lot of that stuff is we'll just, because we're going to try and do some last minute fantasy advice, because the week after that Monday, that is one of the biggest draft weeks of the year, Labor Day weekend.
All right,
So
so we got
we'll try to get our folks ready for that.
kickers, defense, news and notes, fantasy advice,
Yep.
mock draft. Man,
Yep.
and guess what, Calculator? We need to go live on our draft, the 4-1 Sports World League draft.
Okay.
We are now down to 2 slots. There's 2 slots open for the league.
One of our flight squad was texting me. He says he hopes this thing fills up. I said, hey, Mr. 411 knows how to fill up a league.
We've had full league since 2003.
Yeah, hey, there we go. Hey, I remember. Hey, back in the day, Mr. 411, you remember when I introduced you into the league, and when we first started at the same company, man, you called me on Labor Day weekend saying, "Let's do that." So we were making up names. They were real people, but I was making team names, and I was assigning them Yahoo usernames and passwords, and gave it to them when they returned to work. So yeah, that was an interesting time.
Yeah, hey, we had, without that moment, we not where we are right now today, Calculator. And that you're right, because they had a Thursday night. I think it was a Thursday night game that week. And we was like cramming a whole league together and within hours. And man, that's amazing, man. Look where it's come now. So man, awesome. But yeah, great story there, Calculator.
And yeah, if we can get that auction going, we'll do our best. Although, Mr. 411, I don't know, people be looking at my Q box, Mr. 411.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh man, maybe we can find a way to put an image over your screen.
Or we could just run it and then kind of post it after the draft to show people how it worked. And then that way, don't do it live and let people like LT and Robert and Zach and Lacey be looking at my Q box and outbidding me.
Oh, your Q box, yeah,
that's right.
Maybe we need to let's do a practice draft and then a practice run and see if we could get that working. Well, we can have it live, but not have certain things showing.
Oh, okay. We'll see what we'll yeah. Well, the thing is, we got to show people, because it's hard not to use a Q box when you get later in the draft for an auction. You got to have, because that's how you rank your players and stuff. So,
get some out.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Another one in the book, Mr. 411.
There it is. Another one. Hey, I appreciate you being on. Nice merch that you have on right there, by the way.
Hey,
and
only the best.
Yes, sir. There it is. Absolutely. But yeah, we'll get back together. Enjoy your time. And man, for the Calculator, I'm Mr. 411. We thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share. Because sharing is caring.
Yep.
Hit that notification bell. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.